Good afternoon, this is Pat Walker, Mission Winners. So we're taking a look here, GDX. This is not sorted in any specific way, to a degree alphabetical, but we'll go through them. GDX, gold miners. You can always see the ticker symbol up here or up here. Gold miners. And you can see it's picking up. Here's the weekly though, there's a ton of overhead supply. Perhaps the best thing this could do, this is the daily, if this could form a little handle right here on the daily and then lift off, perhaps an entry. But there is a lot of overhead supply here and here and here. Be aware of that. So no real clean and simple entry at this point in time. Continue onward. Gold is a little bit stronger. This is why we look at the ETFs. You can see this base here on the weekly, and you can see on the daily where it was lifting up on pretty good volume. Note the volume. The up volume bars versus the down volume bars. They're heavy. Heavier. There's power there. It's lifting, and it has lifted. Now, take a close look, and this is an important lesson for everybody. Price is extended. There's no edge in chasing price up here. You could buy this up here and it could fall all the way down to, 194. And it would still look okay on the weekly. But in the meantime, you're sitting there going, golly, I'm kind of in trouble here. This is why, again, the moral of the lesson we teach at Mission Winners, don't chase price. Please, it will really help you. Chasing price is an emotional decision, and high emotions and good investing are mutually exclusive. So that's where that is. Now, this has lifted up some, and what has that told you for, a little over a week? Maybe looking at some gold mining stocks. That's why we do this. You see this base right here? When it's lifted off, you could say, maybe there's some gold mining stocks. And again, that's why we look at the ETFs. Let's continue onwards. IBB lifted up on the weekly, gave it right back. Here's the daily, lifts up, and then there's some selling in there. A little loose here, you've got to be careful with that. It needs to take out these highs up here with volume and a good market for us to be interested in it. All right, just laying that out there for you. Let's continue onwards. IEO, oil, energy, has been trending. I mean, it's not a rock and roll move, but it has been working a little bit. What has it told you for a little while? Maybe look into some energy stocks. There you go. You don't have to overthink it. Just get in line with it. IGV, oh, this is a unique one here. I'll have to update this right now. Let's try something here and see if it'll work. I don't think it will. Oh, it did. Okay, we got some tail bars here. I don't know if this is right or not. I'll have to correct this chart. But you can see on the daily, it's kind of whipping around here, isn't it? You got to be careful with that, folks. All right? It's telling you, be careful with software technology. And it has been telling us that for several weeks. And we have taken note of it. Here we go. Medicine's picking up a little bit. No real clean entry, but it is strengthening, something to look into. Aerospace and defense is hanging in. Maybe looking at some aerospace and defense stocks. It's that simple. Home construction started to lift off. It's getting a little choppier up here. But it was, you see back here, we were heavy in home construction back here. We had some running, including this. We owned this right through here. Here's the daily chart. Look at that base. Clean and simple bases. Look at the volume surge on that bar right there. And here's the whole pattern. And there's the trend. And we rode that quite a ways. And we also, when it was falling, go back to it, when it got choppy here, especially on this gap down, that's triggered to sell the rest. So no real clean entry right now, but it does tell us something. And this is an important lesson for everybody. What is a major influence on home building stocks? Interest rates. And you don't need to really know what Powell's talking about. Just looking at the interest sensitive stocks can tell you a lot. There's a good lesson right there. S&P 500 growth's hanging in there, steadily trending, getting a little loose up here, so you got to be careful with that, but the trend is still up. Small caps, big tail bar, gaps up, reverses down on a pickup in volume, got a little bit extended on the small caps, something to be careful with. The action at the end of the week was a little rough. You got to be cautious here. You'll see that. Real estate, another real estate ETF, picking up a little bit, not super robust, but it's not dropping either. Maybe it'll form a little base right here, and I'll draw this for you to help you. And I'm not saying it will happen, okay? Anybody says this is what's going to happen next, that's ego, and a big ego and good investing are mutually exclusive. If you have a big ego, the market has a lot of ways to humble you. So what's our goal at Mission Winners? Get in line with what is. Don't impose our will on it. It'll tell us what to do if we listen or quote unquote watch with an open mind. So there's real estate, not looking too bad. Maybe form a handle. IYT This, there we go. Transportations, let's see if all four will work on this. Got two bad data bars, I'll have to check on this. But transports, watch this. Steadily trending up, a little loose up there, but it does tell us something. Here's the weekly, we'll trace this here. You can see it's trending up, and that's nice to see. Back here, you could say, maybe look into some transport stocks. You say, Pat, which ones? You can punch up IYT, top 10 holdings, IYT on Google, and it'll tell you where the money's going. That's simple, systematize, and it's what we teach and do, have for years. Midcap's hanging in here, but a pretty big tail bar here on Friday, so you've got to be careful. It's a little bit extended. Oil services, not really leading at this point in time, so be careful with that. Pharmaceuticals, there's a little base right here. It would be nice for us to take out these tops, and I'll draw it for you to help you. There you go. Take out these tops with volume would be a positive situation, and it needs that. A stock that has an impact on this is Lilly, and Lilly's kind of choppy right now, so be careful with that, okay? Just heads up. QLD, gaps up, runs up, reverses down on a big pickup in volume. Weekly chart, opens basically unchanged, runs up, closes in the bottom half of its range on a pickup in volume. It's telling you, be a little cautious with Nasdaq, big Nasdaq stocks. That's why we do this. I'm not saying it's going to keep falling. I'm just saying be cautious. You're not going to see this setup in any book right here, the way this looks, saying, well, this is the setup you look for. This is what you want to do. You won't hear William and O'Neill say this in a level 3 or 4 counts. You see this setup right here? This is a good setup. This is like a cup and a handle. That's what you want. No, it's not. Okay, no, it's not. And I'm not making fun of him. The man changed my life. I'm grateful to have met him a couple of times. Nothing to do with this. Leave it alone. Same thing's true with QQQ. It needs to straighten up. Continue onwards. Retailing. By the way, a great investing book if you haven't read it, and there's nothing in it for me, How to Make Money in Stocks. There's countless others. That's a great place to start. And team, for everybody, don't read it, study it like a textbook. Take notes. It will change your life. Silver, picking up, and yes, true confession, you all know this. So I was an IBD meetup co-leader for 12 years. I taught this every month on a big stage, and nobody threatened me either, so that was kind of nice. Right here, silver, it'd be nice if this could form a little handle on the daily and take off, but at this point in time, there's nothing really clean with it, so leave it alone. Steel's the same thing, a little choppier here. There's a tops right here, but no, it ran up and it faded. It ran up and it faded. It ran up and it reversed down, faded. So there's a seller there. You got to be a little careful with that. SMH, we are heavy in semiconductor stocks, and we have been for a while, okay? And a good move here, big reversal bar on heavy volume. That's a bearish engulfing bar. I'm not saying the move's over, but there's serious selling there. Just be a little cautious at this point in time with the markets. Spiders, same situation, gaps up, runs up, reverses down. Be cautious on heavier volume. Be a little cautious. SSO, same situation. TAN, there's no leadership there. I mean, do a compare and contrast. Oh, look at SSO going up. Oh, look at SSO going up. Oh, that's pretty good. It's kind of trending nicely. Oh, look at this. There's nothing there at this point in time. Look at the weekly and daily. Don't overthink it. There's nothing there for now. Move on to the next one. Again, we strive at Mission Winners to use our assets wisely, and one of our assets is money, and another one of our assets is time, and another one is mindset. Having the right mindset in doing this stuff, and we're big on that. Okay, TNA, the leverage, gaps up, reverses down on a pickup in volume. Got to be a little cautious with here. A little loose on the daily too, or on the weekly, excuse me. Weekly on the left, daily on the right. My apologies. Continue onward. US oil, there's another energy stock, oil. Really nothing going on there. Consumer discretionary, a little choppy here. You're not going to see that set up in many books. That's what you look for. Aerospace and defense shows a little bit of strength. Got a little loose on Friday, but it does show a little bit of strength. Continue onwards. Biotech, another biotech ETF. There's got some strength in there, but it is kind of choppy, okay? You can see, just look at the price bars and look at the volume bars. Do you see a lot of big green volume bars? I see one. That's it. So be cautious there. Continue onwards. Home builders. Home builders put in reversal bar, but it's been trending steadily, and that's nice, okay? There's another example. That's why we do this, folks. Home builders. Interest rate sensitive. Interest rate sensitive. So, and price, this is a very important lesson most people don't know. Price action backed with volume is a very good forecast of the future. And we use that. We don't have to forecast it. It's telling you what to do. And what I share with you is not an opinion, it's a fact. And never argue with price and volume. XLC materials, XLB, steadily trending up. By the way, I showed you a couple of home building ETFs, right? How do you build things? Oh, you need materials. There you go. That's connecting the dots. So nothing to do with it here. It's extended, but I just wanted to share that lesson with you. And it's not fancy. XLC starts to lift up. Here's a great lesson. Runs up. That's a tail bar. Just sticking out there by itself. Tail bar, tail bar, tail bar, tail bar. I'm not trying to be funny here. This is the real world living off of it. Tail bar. What is that telling you? Every time this thing runs up, it's met with sellers. They're not running it up anymore. They get in it, no conviction, they sell it right back down. And a couple of times they do it, oh look, on a gap down, a gap down, a gap down, a reversal, a gap down, a gap up and reversal on a pickup in volume. Not a lot of conviction at this point in time. It just says, hey, I think I'll be careful with communication services stocks. That's all. And I like that. XLE, energy steadily grinding up. Looking at some energy stocks. Financials are hanging in pretty good. Here's another example. I showed you some home building stocks. What's directly related to home building and, you got a mortgage, okay? Financials grinding up here, okay? That's good to see. It's a little bit extended. I'm not saying buy it, but it's nice to see financials hanging in there. You could punch up XLF and see what are their top 10 holdings. And you know what? You can go on Google and do that for free. And there's power in knowing that. There you go. It's what we teach, what we do. Industrials, steadily trending up. Nice. Reversal bar here. Those should be a little cautious. Topping tail. You got to watch that. And there was heavy selling on this bar too. Just things to look at. XLK, a little loose in here. The trend is up on the weekly. You can see it. And we've been heavily involved with a lot of technology stocks. Okay. NVDA. We've got what, 400, 500 points in NVIDIA. SMCI, we have even more than that. Good entry and trends pay. Remember that. And always control risk. Never argue with price. Let's continue onwards. Consumer staples is hanging in. A little choppy up there. Be careful with it. Healthcare, it's hanging in, but there's no real super clean entry at this point in time. Consumer discretionary, getting a little choppy up here. Look, and falling on increasing volume. Discretionary spending, stuff you don't really have to have, okay? Starting to get a little choppy and toppy, something to watch. Here we go. And the price will tell you, metals and mining, it lifted up, but it reversed it down on, look what it did on Friday. Gaps up and reverses down. Be a little careful with metals and mining. Here we go. XOP, oil, energy. That doesn't look too bad. Tells you to look into some energy. There you go. XRT, retail, it's okay. Software, it's trending kind of. But look at this. This is like, look at the whippy action here, folks. It's telling you people are skittish in the technology software area. I mean, it's whipping all over the place. I'm not saying sell it. I'm saying just be aware of it and act accordingly. And that's why we do this. Continue onwards. The IBD 50, this is a good lesson here. IBD 50 is a good ETF proxy to follow. I'm not saying buy it, but it's steadily trending right here on the daily. See the nice trend? Oh, it got kind of loose there. Oh, it lifted up. Oh, it got kind of loose. Oh, it gapped down. Oh, it's trending up again. Oh, pull back. Okay, that's okay. Oh, big reversal. Oh, it gapped down big again. Oh, look, it gaps up and reverses down on a pickup and volume. It's getting a little loose here. It's telling you the IBD 50, which is a good proxy. I'm not criticizing it at all. I'm just saying it's good knowledge to know. This loose action indicates higher investor emotions and lack of conviction. It goes up and they take it right back down. They're not sticking with it. The MAXLIST stocks. I put this list together a long time ago with some additions and some deletions. Apple's in a downtrend. Nothing to do with it. Here's the daily, here's the weekly. Fell in fairly heavy volume. It'll eventually bottom and turn up. But when? I don't know. But the beautiful part is this. We at Mission Winners don't have to forecast. We'll let price and volume tell us what to do. Master a couple of simple chart patterns, master them, and run with that. And I will tell you, I'll take the clean and simple flat base over anything else I've ever seen. And I've looked at millions of charts through the years. So here we go. Let's continue onwards. And it's fun. Amazon's chopping around here a little bit. It started to run up on Friday and then fell again on a pickup in volume. It's just a little sloppy up here. The trend is still up on the weekly, but as far as new commitment, no, just kind of watch it and manage it. Alibaba, there's nothing there. I mean, and here's a great lesson for everybody. When you see a stock run up and close strong and then gap down hard, be cautious. Here and there. Just be cautious. It's loose. Wide and loose chart patterns are indicative of high investor emotions. And one of my degrees is in psychology. I will tell you, in this realm of what we do, high investor emotions and good decision making are mutually exclusive. There you go. Continue onwards. Baidu, there's nothing there. Leave it alone. I don't have to overthink it. You don't have to overthink it. Look at the weekly. What's the trend? It's a downtrend. I don't want to look at it. Done. I'm going to back up here too. Alibaba, it's a downtrend. Leave it alone. Done. There's Baidu again. Let's continue onwards. Google, it's kind of in a downtrend right now. There's nothing really great to do with it, okay? It needs to settle down. It's in a downtrend on the weekly, downtrend on the daily. Eventually it'll turn back up. Remember this, folks. The markets are a little sloppy right now, but bull markets haven't been outlawed, okay? I'm just laying it out there, okay? It'll turn and we'll be ready with no baggage and a clear head. And I like that. And we're ready every day. Goldman Sachs, and this is interesting. There was tops up here, but look at the travel range on these bars, folks. I mean, watch this. Back here, oh, the travel range isn't too bad, is it? It's kind of neat and orderly. Now, whoa, high travel range, wide swings, price swings, is indicative of high investor emotions, okay? Be aware of that. I'll say it again. I say it almost every week. High investor emotions and good decision making are mutually exclusive, okay? That's a fact. And you can see, look at this. Look at this tail bar right here. Runs up, drops. Runs up, drops. Those are called tail. That's what I call them because I'm really fancy with the language, okay? It's just a tail bar, just kind of sticking out there. And then you get this whippy action here. It just says be cautious with it. Avoid it for now. Intel, it's still kind of in a downtrend. It's below the falling 50-day. Here's another investing maxim I want to share with you. Please don't argue with price. And the air is better above the rising 50-day moving average line. There you go. And I kind of like that. I know it's very fancy too. It's simple. MasterCard's kind of hanging in there, okay? Support here on the 21-day, support on the 21-day, support on the 21-day. But remember, the M and mission winners, the market's a little sloppy. The markets come first. We need some power in the markets. Perhaps this will lift off the 21-day. Maybe it will, and we'll be ready. But now also notice, what do we do with mission winners? And this is important, folks. These are real-world lessons, living off the profits. Kind of sloppy here. And note the selling volume bars. All right? There's not a lot of conviction. Be careful. Continue onwards. Meta, we're still in. Here's the weekly chart. Entries here and here. Here's the daily. There's the daily. Entries here. I mean, folks, I taught this for years. I mean, years. And at IBD meetups. And I teach it every day at Mission Winners. Remember, a good entry and a good trend will pay more than all the decisions that you'll make. Let some stock work for it. Sell some into strength to guarantee profits and let the beast run. If you sell all of it, you've limited your profits. Don't limit profits, limit losses. I implore you, okay? By the way, yeah, years ago, decades ago, I was one of those guys. I'd buy it and go, that's pretty dang good. I'm going to take the gain. Jeez, I got 10 points. I'm taking the gain. And you missed, let's suppose you sell it right here for 380. And here it goes up over 500. That's 120 more points for doing nothing. Learn from my mistakes. Ride trends. But also, you can sell a little bit into strength. I want you all to think about this from a psychological perspective. Sells into strength indicate that you're going to make money. You're guaranteed to make money because you're not going to let the rest of it fall, okay, below your purchase price. Selling some into strength. And it does something else. From a psychological perspective, it relieves, lessens stress. And high stress and good investing, okay, are mutually exclusive. It doesn't work. So we have tactics at Mission Winners that helps us lessen stress. You can't eliminate it, but you can help minimize it. There we go. So trending up here, we're in good shape. Just let it work. Wouldn't buy it up here. Okay, it's too extended. Continue onwards. Just want to give you some lessons. Microsoft's a little choppy. There's a tops across here. You can see it on the weekly and the daily, but note on the weekly it fell on a pickup in volume. And note the red volume bars. There's not a lot of conviction right now. So you have to be careful with that. All right. Netflix is owned, but it's a little choppy up here too. And notice, you're not seeing a lot of big green volume bars recently. What does that tell you with the market? Just be a little cautious. That's all. NVIDIA, here's the weekly. This is the template I developed years ago. Weekly on the left, daily on the right. I made videos on this for the team. I think I made videos for everybody saying, this is a good base, this is what you want. I had no idea it was going to do this, okay? I don't know the future. Nobody does. But the moral of the story is this. Buy right out of good basis. Here's the daily. Look at that top that's longer than this, but this is just the last part of it. Look at the volume pickup on that bar. And it buys right in here. Buys in here. And then runs. We sell into strength, sell some into strength. Don't sell all of it, but you sell some, and then you let it run. You just let it work. And you get that. And that is a monster. And then I also tell people, after a big run and the slope starts to accelerate up, it's not sustainable. So what do? You sell some into strength. And accept this fact, folks. There's too much pressure to say, I'm going to get the top. We don't know where the top is until after the fact. Get what you can and be happy. And don't sell all of it unless it's really dropping in price. Let it work. So we've sold some. We sold some on this bar too. We're in fine shape. If it keeps dropping, we'll sell more. If it keeps dropping, we'll sell the rest. We're not going to take this thing down too far though. All right. But it's a good run from basically 500 up to, over 900. Most people like to make 400 points in a year. We did it in about 2.5 months. There you go. MAXLIST stocks. Clean and simple base. There you go. Tesla. Have we owned this for a while? No. And you can see why. It's like, yeah, I guess not. I ain't going to own that sucker. That ain't no good. You're exactly right. Leave it alone. It'll eventually turn, but for now, it's nothing there. Visa's just a little sloppy, choppy. Be careful with it. And we go up back to the top. Anyway, that is a video overview of the MAXLIST stocks. What's it tell us? Just be a little cautious. That's all. Don't argue with price. Thank you all very much. I appreciate your time, your commitment, your focus, your positive mindset. Let's keep going. The opportunities will be there for us, and we'll be ready with no baggage. And I love that. Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit like. Maybe hit that subscribe button. We come up with new content nearly every day. Also, check out the videos on the right. YouTube recommends the one on the top, and the bottom one is something we thought you might enjoy. See you next time.